All right, welcome to Friday Pilates. We are going to begin standing, and let's begin with a little fluid movement, and then we will play with our shoulders a little bit. So let yourself sway side to side. Let's open the myofascial web a little bit, and remember that a lot of what we're doing is aimed at creating space around the bones. So as you move side to side, feel into your shoulders. And if you feel like the bones are running into each other, ask yourself, can I place my shoulders a little differently so there's a little bit more space around the head of my arm bone? And what typically happens is a lot of us get pulled forward by tight pec minor muscles because we spend more time hovering over things this way than opening in our back bends. And so when this gets tight, we get pulled. If you can imagine your head of your arm bone lives in a circular room, that arm bone gets pulled against the wall, or it gets lifted towards the ceiling because our upper traps carry our tension. So I want you just to circle the shoulders and feel for an activation of the shoulder blade on the back ribs. And don't make the circles so large that you run the bones into each other. In fact, maybe you're focused more on taking the head of the arm bone wide. So before you lift the elbow, try to just reach shoulder away from opposite foot at a diagonal. Even reach shoulder away from hip. And think, I want space around the head of my arm bone so it will not pinch my rotator cuff muscles. And then some of you will be able to take the elbows wide and still not feel like you're running the head of the arm bone into the shoulder girdle. And you might just play with that. That might be where you play today, with feeling into space inside the joint. Some of you will be able to take the elbows high. But when you do that, you want to think of the head of the arm bone releasing down away from the shoulder girdle. And some of you may be able to stretch the arm long. But I want you to really feel into your own shoulder and ask yourself, what is the right movement for me? Going to the full range of motion is not necessarily what's best for some of you. So feel into, oh, how do I create space around the head of the arm bone? Because these classes are supposed to be good for us. That's what we're wanting. Yeah. So reach it and reach it and reach it. And then come back, hands down, and let your arms figure eight in front of your body. And let your spine gently twist as your arms come around towards your hips. And just feel now into the dynamic movement along your spine. And are there vertebrae that feel like they're glued together or they're pressing too hard into the discs between them? And then maybe this twist isn't as large, or maybe you take it to a different part of the spine. Like maybe you're really used to twisting at your thoracic lumbar junction, where the lumbar spine meets the thoracic spine, which is at the top of your low back towards your rib cage. And maybe you can bring the twist up a little higher in between the ribs. And just feel for, maybe there's some side bending that goes with the twisting, and play. And then float your arms down towards the floor and let the elbows and the forearms, well, let's let the whole arm just dangle and swing. And just because of the rocking legs, the arms will swing side to side. Let go of the arms. Don't move the arms on purpose with the arms themselves. Move the arms with the swing of your hips and let the arms dangle down, and then come to stillness. So you're in a good quad work, Utkatasana. Legs are a little wide, and circle your arms inside. and still let the head of the arm bone dangle. Let the hands be heavy. This work is really important in stretching. You may not feel it so much as a stretch, but because of the weight of the arms, you are loosening the fascial tissue up in the shoulder. And then again, you can sway a little side to side and let the arms, once you get them circling, let the circle come from the swaying hips. So I've been playing with this because enough of you are having some shoulder things that I want you to feel into the arm bones hanging, releasing. Breath, fluid breath, and unfold back to standing. Now, palms next to your hips, lift the heart. Pause. Smile your collarbones open. Pause right here. Root your tailbone. Lift the low back rib ring. Lift the base of the skull and breathe in to lift the sternum. Oh, stretch the front ribs. And then let the hands come around, hands back to back. And lift and circle. And again, can the arm bones hang down? So you don't have to pull them up by your ears to float them around to the front. See if you can let them be heavy and hang next to you. It's a motion we're not used to. Many of us lift the head of our arm bones all the time because they carry the the upper trap carries our stress. So we open the body a little bit before we begin the work. Good. Okay. So in that same theme of opening, let's bring the therapy ball onto the mat and let's roll the foot. Roll one foot. Cross the inner arch. Cross the midfoot to the outer edge of the foot. Make sure you get the outer edge too. And as you do this, see, can I still allow my arms to hang down? I'm not going to activate my neck and upper shoulder muscles and pull them up. I'm really going to open wide across the collarbone. I'm going to let the arms dangle with the hug of gravity as I massage the foot and open the fascia of the legs. And then take the ball under your other foot and massage. Fluid breath. What I like also about these racket balls is that when you press on them, there's more give. There is a little bit more in a tennis ball too. They're just larger. So this feels like it can get into the little nooks and crannies differently. Roll on the outer edge of your foot as well. That's a little harder to control. But that fascia really needs opening. It's a little thicker on the outer edge of your foot. And that wraps up into your legs. Okay, pick up the yoga therapy ball. One more. Let's roll it across the front chest from side to side, opening this fascial tissue of the chest so that when we do our core work on our backs, we have some fluidity up here in this front chest. And take it to the other side. Ah, you can feel where the tension is. So if you have any downtime today where you're getting to sit down and have a conversation or you're watching a movie, bring your therapy ball with you and really try to feel into it. Now, some of you are rolling really fast. Kind of take it a little slower. Notice where you feel specific areas of tightness. You may want to even come in under your armpit. Fluid breath. Okay, let's put that down and let's shake. Shake your hands, shake your legs, shake your arms. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Okay. Now, before we even come to the floor today, I want you to take your circle TheraBand around your ankles or your knees. Okay, so we're going to go with this theme of what we've been working on, and bring the hand weights up into your arms. Okay, so we'll do a little arms along with it. So you do not need to use the bands. If you feel like you get enough hip work without the bands, then don't bring the band on. Same thing with the shoulders. Modify as needed in the arms. Okay, so come in to stretching your band and bring your hand weights up. If this hurts your knees to have it low, bring the TheraBand up above your knees. Okay, now we're going to step and open and close and step and open and close and inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. Now, when you open your arms, make sure the head of the arm bone is back in the joint. It's not popping forward. Fluid breath. Your arms could be down here, opening like this if that feels better in your body. Okay. Woohoo. Feel into those legs, stepping. Now remember, you're in a bit of a ski tuck. We're working on the quads too. We're warming up the body. Fluid breath. Okay. Now come back to center. I don't know about you, but I'm getting warm. And let your hands come down and take one toe out to the side. Now, this might be enough work right here. Root down into the standing leg, float the arms out, float the leg off the floor if you can, and touch and lift and touch and lift. Really grounding into the standing leg. Reach up through your crown. Shoulder blades on the back, gaze at the mountaintop, heart lifted. One more. Woo. Take it to the other side. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Feel for the work in your standing glute as you push firmly into the four corners of your foot. And step down. Now, step one foot, let's say the right foot, over the strap. So I've got it on the arch of my foot. Oh, you got to be able to see me. See? And the other foot, it's going to come to the front of my foot. Balance work. And we're going to bicep curl and lift the knee and let it go. Keep your heart lifted. Gaze at the mountaintop and lift slowly, pulling the TheraBand up with the upper foot. Now, if you don't have a TheraBand on, you can still imagine that you're pulling a little weight as you lift up, grounding into the four corners of the standing foot and getting the legs awake. Step down with the left foot, pull up with the right forefoot. Lift and lower, heart lifted, gaze lifted, shoulder blades on the back body. A new way to use the circle TheraBand. Good. And one more. And release. Okay. Take the circle TheraBand off and come to lying down on your mat. Okay. So hopefully you're a little warm. Now let's head into the core and then have your yoga therapy ball handy and the yoga block if you might, or the oov if you might want to rest your foot on it. Nod tailbone towards earth, tailbone towards sky. Fluid breath. Nodding the pelvis, feeling into the low back. Come to neutral. Open your arms out like a T, elbows out from the shoulders, palms facing the foot of the mat, and press back from head of the arm bone to the elbow. Pressing back, feel the mid back strengthen. If this doesn't feel good in your rotator cuff, don't do it. You should be able to press back with the arm bones and nod your head no. No to overactivating the upper trap. Press back, head of the arm bone to the elbow. Press back without flaring your rib cage skyward, keeping a neutral curve to your spine. Now continuing to press back, head of arm bone to elbow, nod yes. Yes to building strength in the middle back where a lot of us are weak. because those front chest muscles have gotten so tight that the back muscles are pulled long. Yes, to strengthening those back muscles. And bring your arms into robot arms and float one leg to tabletop. Float it down, landing light as a feather. Float the next leg up and down. Long neutral spine, gaze perpendicular to the floor. Float one leg to tabletop. Pause. Exhale or inhale, float the other leg up and exhale, toe dip and inhale neutral. Exhale and inhale. Again, you can take your arms out, pressing from head of arm bone to elbow, waking up the middle back as you do your toe dips. Next time you come up, open the knees as wide as your shoulders and toe dip. Try to stay aware of your Pilates square. Try to stop yourself from flaring the ribs. And bring your arms back into robot arms. Press back from head of the arm bone to elbow. Gaze perpendicular to the sky. And float one foot to the floor and the other. Reach for your Gurdy ball, put it between your knees. Arms open, palms up, hands down by your hips. Pulse into the Gurdy ball with your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Now, as you hug in with your inner thighs, activate your outer hips. Hug them in towards the bone. Create a container for the pelvis. Check in that you have a neutral spine. And keeping your knees where they are, straighten your left leg. Pulse into the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Here, hug the glutes towards midline. Feel into an activation of the outer hips. Keep your neutral lumbar curve and take a deep inhale into the chest. Exhale, bend the left knee, lift the right, and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Don't do all the work with the inner thighs. Bring the back thighs on board. The inner thighs, the hip muscles, all hugging towards center. Three-dimensional breath into the lowest circle of the ribs. And bend your knee and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Press your pillow out. Robot arms, lift your pelvis and lower your pelvis and lift your pelvis and lower your pelvis. As you lift your pelvis, reach out with your knees over your toes. Fluid breath, strengthening the legs in healthy alignment. Use the upper back and the head of the humerus bone to elbow pressing down. So keep the back body engaged. Lift up into your bridge and try swinging right hip a little higher than left and across to left hip lifting, even as you gently hug the Gurdy ball. And we lift and lift and lift and lift. Strong across the back body, strong down the arms. We build back body strength while we stretch the psoas pathway. And today, while we strengthen our awareness of the midline. Now come back to center and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Press down into your heels. Hinge the heels so that you lift your toes off the ground, flexing the foot. Put the toes back on the ground, lift the heel. And lower the heel and lift the heel and lower and lift and lower and lift. Lower and lift and pulse the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold the ball gently and lower the heels and lift. Lower the heels and lift. Lower the heels and lift and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Reach the knees away from the heart. Lift the heart away from the knees. Press into the whole length of the arm bones. Take a few three-dimensional breaths. And heels to the floor, lower the sacrum, take the ball out. Draw one knee into the chest and then the other. Draw your pillow back in if you like, and circle the knees apart from each other and back together again. Fluid breath. Take your circles the other way. Fluid breath. Okay, we're working a little on hip opening as well as strengthening today. So draw your right knee to 12 o'clock, press your left knee down towards 6. Circle both wide and through the center and wide. So they keep going the same direction. The right knee comes up, out, and around, while the left knee goes down, around, and up. So they're going different directions. A little different pull inside the pelvis, around the femur bones. Take the circles the other way. Draw the left leg to 12, right knee to 6, and circle them wide. Good morning, hip joints. Now bring both knees together and circle them, feeling the perimeter of your sacrum. Massaging your SI joints. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Bring the knees back to 12 o'clock and circle them the other way. Fluid breath. And come back to center. And float one foot to the floor and the other. And lift the right ankle up over the left femur bone. Flex the right foot. And nod tailbone towards earth and tailbone towards sky. Shoulders broad, jaw relaxed. And as you're ready, coming to neutral, draw the legs in towards your chest and rock side to side. Fluid breath. And rocking the foot out to the left. Draw the legs in, breathe deep into the hip. Relax on the exhale. Now remember, your left foot could just be sitting on a block here. We stay in a stretching position for several breaths to invite the tissue to open and stretch on the inhale, to relax and soften on the exhale. And then release. Left foot to the floor, right foot to the floor. Bring your hands into your hip creases. Press the femur bones away with the heel of your hands and reach the head along the other direction, tractioning the low back. Deep breath down into the pelvis. Release the right ankle and put the left ankle up over. Flex the left foot. Open the left knee. Kind of play with it here before you lift into your figure four. A fluid breath. Perhaps rocking the legs from left to right, from right to left. Maybe even circling the legs. Feeling deep into the joint of the hips. Bringing fluid breath down into the hips. Good morning, hips. Fluid breath. Now pause where the stretch is right for you. Make sure to keep the left foot flexed. Deep three-dimensional breath. Inviting it to move fluid through the fascia, even in the hip. And then release. Both feet on the floor. Reach for your yoga therapy ball. Bring it under one buttock. Roll back and forth across that buttock. And let your mind rest into what you're discovering in the landscape of this buttock. Where is there tension? Bring the therapy ball up, even into the top where the sacrum's widest, at the outer hip, and explore all the way down the buttock towards your sit bone, the edge of your sit bone. A lot of connections connect from these tuberosities out to your greater trochanter, which is the widest part of your outer hip. Down at the head of your, down at your femur. Now, take the ball out from the one side you've been rolling and lay on the floor in constructive rest. And just notice the difference side to side. And notice if you feel it more than just at the buttock, maybe up into the low back or into the leg. Maybe even that side foot feels more grounded. And then switch sides. It's important to acknowledge what the work we're doing does. Each movement changes the body. The body responds. So we've strengthened the hips, we've stretched the hips. Now we're rolling the hips. Fluid breath. Don't be afraid to roll out onto the side of the hip you're rolling, even onto the side body, even a little bit up onto the bones. You are exploring the fascial connections inside your buttock, from the very top of the hip down to the sit bone. And rest that buttock back on the floor. Walk the soles of your feet together and allow the knees to open. If it's comfortable for you, take your arms, interlaced hands overhead, and press the palms away from the feet. And if that makes you yawn, then go ahead and yawn. Fluid breath. Okay, let's do a little more core hip work. Lift your pelvis up and place the ball or the block underneath your sacrum. You could also put the oov there if you'd like. Float one leg to tabletop. Take an inhale, exhale the other leg up, hug the legs together. Activate your outer hips as well as your inner thighs. Shoulders broad, arms down, grounding. Float the right leg out to the right and pause. Maintain your Pilates square. Put your thumbs on your low ribs, fingers on your hip pointers. Feel for that square as you draw the leg back in. Keep the square. Now open the left leg out to the left and pause. Feel for maintaining the shape of your Pilates square. Feel how the left shoulder is active and connected to the right buttock. And come back in. And take the right leg out. And in 3 times. Out and in. Out and in. Take the left leg. Out and in. Keep your square. Out and in. It's not about how far you can go, it's about how still you can keep that square. Take the right leg out for 2. 1 and 2. Take the left leg out for 2. 1 and 2. And lift the legs straight up for the sky. Pilates B. Open your feet as wide as the mat. Take them down the mat, heels together and up. And let your legs circle. Start small with a thin oval and then slowly open it larger and larger. I was listening to NPR today, and Dick Van Dyke is entering his second century. And they had this whole show about him. It was quite uplifting. Fluid breath makes me think of Mary Poppins. Come to the top and go back down. Circle up and down. Stay strong, low ribs to hip pointers. If your fingers and thumbs can stay on your square, keep them there so that you notice what's happening inside the Pilates square. Remember, you can bend your knees here if you have long legs and still get really good work in the hips. A fluid breath. Coming back together. Take the right foot towards 12 o'clock, left leg towards 6 o'clock. Circle them around to the opposite and circle them back. And so circle wide and circle wide. Here we're working on both strength and mobility. You're using your core and your shoulder girdle and arms to create the stability for the moving legs. Floint the feet. Press out through the big toe ball mound and the pinky toe ball mound. Continue your circling. And try flexing the feet, reaching out through the heels. Maintain your strength at the square, both strengthening and opening the hips simultaneously. Come back to center and begin your bicycles. Fluid breath. This is also a restorative position for the body as the blood moves down from the feet back to the heart, as the lymph flows down the body. Now take your circles, bicycling circles backwards. Still paying attention to your Pilates square, you can actually palpate inside and notice how your core is working. Fluid breath. If your foot comes closer to the ground, you're getting more of an eccentric contraction. And float both legs up. Bend your knees, open both knees wide. Pause with the knees open and let the knees just gently bounce there. Don't do that if it feels like a strain in your inner groin. And come back to center. Hug both knees together and take both legs off to the left. Ooh, feel the left shoulder activate. Connect it across your back body to the right buttock, strengthening your back. Come back to center. Take both legs over to the right. Feel the right shoulder activate to stabilize you. Connect the right shoulder to the left buttock, strengthening back awareness. Also feel across your core from right low ribs, strengthen across the front diagonal to the left hip pointer. And switch again. Leaning to the left. Feel the left engaged. Connect it over to the right pelvis. Come back through center to the other side. And you get to choose how far you take the legs over. And come back to center. And float one foot to the floor and then the other. Lengthen your right leg over the ball. Open the arms overhead. And stretch. Inner thigh away from navel. Hands away from feet. Deep three-dimensional breath. So, big part of opening the hips is allowing for the psoas pathway to open. So, take inner thigh away from navel, all the way down to the inner arch of your foot. Let the three-dimensional breath really stretch you open from the inside. Now, walk your left foot wide out to the left, and even let the left knee open wide. Breathe deep into the bowl of the pelvis. Really still reach the right leg down the mat away from the hands. And walk the left foot back in. Draw the right leg in, lengthen the left leg out. Stretch inner thigh away from navel. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. In these stretches, we need to be here for a little while so the body can feel it and remember. Now walk your right leg out to the right, your right foot out. Let the knee open away from the opposite leg. Breathe into the belly of the pelvis. And relax on the exhales. Now walk back into center. If you have low back pain or stenosis, maybe you walk back into your bridge. Otherwise, you lengthen both legs out over the ball. Deep breath into the belly of the pelvis. And float your arms back down by your sides. Hands rest on the belly. Deep breath into the belly. And relaxing on the exhales. And walk your feet back in. Again, bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees open wide. Continue your three-dimensional breath. Float your knees together. Lift up off the ball. Release your pelvis to the floor. Draw one knee into the chest and then the other. Circle your knees wide apart and back together again. Fluid breath. Take your circles the other way. Float one foot to the floor and then the other. Come back up, no pillow, into your bridge. Keeping the arms and shoulders strong, walk your feet 3 steps to the left. Reach out through the right knee away from the right shoulder. Breathe into the right side body. Exhale, walk your feet back to center. Walk your feet 3 steps to the right. Keep the shoulders, the arm bones still. Reach out through the left knee. Breathe into the left side body. Walk back to center. Lower your pelvis to the floor. Inhale, float it skyward. Exhale, lower, and inhale, lift. This time, as you lift, lift all the way up onto the balls of the feet, and then lower back down, heels and hips. Lift all the way to the balls of the feet. Lower. Inhale the lift, as if even the tips of your toes could float off the floor. You can even lift up onto the toes, off the ball of the foot, giving the feet a little bit of a workout. One more. And lower back down. Hug both knees into your chest. Take both legs wide. Hold behind the knees and lift your feet towards the sky in a happy baby. Some of you will be able to reach the outer edges of your feet. Fluid breath, swinging side to side, allowing the knees to rest downward, stretching the hips open. Fluid breath. And release one foot to the floor and then the other. Roll over onto hands and knees. Okay, today, let's bring the TheraBand up under the hands and hands and knees. If you'd prefer to use your hand weights, you can do that. And lift. Oh, this TheraBand's got a kink in it. It might split. Lift your right hand, holding the TheraBand, right knuckles out. Now make sure when you do this work, you don't have the TheraBand so tight that you're jamming the head of the arm bone in towards the center line as you lift. Make sure you don't lift the wrist so high you drop the head of the arm bone into the front of the rotator cuff. Lift and lower. Now keep long out through the crown of the head. We're coming into some arm and back strengthening work here. And if you'd like to, let the left shin lift as the right arm lifts. Take it slow. Keep the spine long. Stay aware of your center channel. And if you'd like to, lift and hold. Feel into your myofascial slings. Release your collar away from your ears. And release. Inhale a cow. Exhale a hissing cat. Inhale a cow. Exhale a hissing cat. One more time. Inhale the cow. And exhale the hissing cat. And come back to neutral. Holding the TheraBand in your left hand now. Lift and your knuckles turn towards the left so that as you lift your arm, your shoulder blade comes right onto the rib cage. And really just stay with the upper body for a little bit and feel into how you're placing the head of the arm bone in the joint. So kind of play with, oh, can I create more space in the shoulder as I do healthy work here, building strength in my mid back. And then if you want to play with your myofascial slings, float the right shin. Fluid breath. This is really good work to work on balance because you're becoming aware of your myofascial slings. You don't even have to do it with the TheraBand, right? So those of you who have shoulder issues, you can do this without the TheraBand. You can even have the hand down by the hip as it lifts. It can lift back, fingers back, palm down. Now lift up and hold. Keep long in your spine and release. Roll back into your child's pose and walk your hands around to the right. Lift your left sit bone, stretch it wide and set it down, and breathe into the whole length of the side body. Feel how if you take your hip, your left hip away from your left armpit, you may even get a stretch around the hip bones. Walk back through center to the other side. Lift the right sit bone, take it wide, set it down. Fluid breath. Now, if this doesn't feel good for your shoulders, you can relax your arms in more of a cactus position, elbows more in, and you can lengthen through your crown. And you can really use the breath to come in around the bones. And come back to center. And plant your hands. Fingers each drawing in toward your palm. Float up to hands and knees and lift your knees just an inch off the floor. Rock your weight onto the left side. Rock your weight onto the right side like you're a bear ambling towards its winter den. Rock side to side. Finger pads pulling in towards center palm to protect the carpal tunnel. And come back to center, floating your hips back into your downward dog. Bent knees. Begin to walk your dog. Izzy stole my pillow. Fluid breath. You can stay with downward dog or rock forward into your plank. Continue to walk your plank. Let the knee come down and open back. Fluid breath. Walk back up into your downward dog and walk your feet towards your hands. Heels under sit bones, second metatarsals parallel. Let's reach for our hand weights. And let's float up to Utkatasana. Fluid breath. Pause in your Utkatasana and let your arms dangle to each side. Let them gently swing forward to back with a little weight, drawing them down towards earth. Now look down at your feet as you let go in the arms and make sure you're plugging in. Big toe ball mound across to pinky, the whole circumference of your heel. And float yourselves up to standing. Okay, let's bring in our oov or our block. And we're going to do a little balance and upper body work to close class today. So if you have an oov, you step your second toe and heel into the groove of the oov, and you lift to the other toe as you step up. So the oov is supporting the arch of your foot. If you do not have an oov, then step up onto the block. Fluid breath. We lift and lower and lift and lower, and we step. Now lift your heart and let the gaze come onto the mountaintop. Think of the myofascial sling work we just did and feel your shoulder blades strong on your back body. In fact, feel into the strong backside we worked today. Some of you will be able to lift your knee and step down. Lift your knee and step down. Fluid breath, lifted heart, beautiful alignment. So we're not leaning forward. The hot air balloon's lifting our pellet towards the sky. And one more. Now step down. Now come to your toe of the floating foot and float your wings, float your leg like we did with the TheraBand on, only now our leg is free. Good hip strengthening work in your standing leg. Fluid breath, good abductor work in the lifting leg. Now see if you can lift it up and hold. Working on your balance and stepping down. Beautiful. Take it to the other side. This is really good work for your foot on the oov because it moves a little bit and it's a little bit squishy. Step up, bicep curl to the toe and step down and lift and lower. Heart lifted, shoulder blades on our backs. Really feel for the spine just kind of going up and down in its neutral curves and the pressure down into the standing foot to lift the other leg. Now, if you'd like to, float the knee. Keep your upper body in its neutral. So we're not coming down and forward. We're just coming up and down with the spine. Yeah. Try to stay with your Pilates square activated and your back body alive, head resting back. And one more. And come down. And float your arms out and in and take the leg with it. Fluid breath. Really grounding into your standing leg. Building your capacity for balance, whether you're on the block or the oov. And one more. Hold it out. Hold it, and release. Step off the oov and just walk around for a moment. Step off the block and release your hand weights. Come up to standing. You can move your block or oov out of the way and bring in your long TheraBand. Long TheraBand around your low back ribs. Palms up. Inhale into the TheraBand as you bring the arms. Oops, there it went. As you bring the arms forward. Instead, inhale the stretch. Exhale, elbows into your sides. Inhale and exhale. Now feel into those low back ribs and take one foot behind you. A lot of people have been asking me for ways to open the psoas. And if you stand even just with one foot behind you in a front lunge, lower that back heel. Even if you're chopping vegetables or whatever you're doing in your kitchen, you're going to get a little bit of psoas stretch on that back leg side. Now come back to the toe. Keep length in the back body. So lift the low back ribs away from the tailbone, which is rooting down, and lift the back leg and lower and lift and lower. So now we're strengthening the glutes, but we're stretching the psoas pathway. And one more. And release. Take it to the other side. Other leg back. Just have the toe pointed. Find your balance on the front leg. Lift your heart. Lengthen the spine through the front abdomen. So lift your navel away from the inner thigh of the back leg. Lift the heart. Continue that whole fascial stretch up the spine, up to the crown. Now set the back heel down, bend the front knee a little. Root into the back heel. Keep breathing into the low back ribs and lift them slightly away from the pelvis. Lift the base of the skull away from the low back ribs. Now float forward again onto the toe, and as you're ready, lift the foot and lower. Inhale into the low back ribs and lower. Fluid breath. A nice pulsation of the body. And one more. And release down. Okay, last exercise. Take the TheraBand over your head. We'll see if my little one's long enough. Not quite. Okay. Let it rest so that it puts a little weight. I just have to bend my elbows, but your arms can be straight if you can do it that way. And float to one toe. Now stand strong on the standing foot and circle the knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and pause. Take it the other way. 1. Remember, if balance is an issue, you can keep the toe close to the floor. 1 more. And step down. Lift to the other toe. Do a little tap dance. As you're ready, press up into the TheraBand, circle. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take it the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Step down, lengthen up into your crown. Relax your shoulders wide on your back body. Lift the heart towards your mountaintop. And release the TheraBand. Come into your mountain pose. Step your heels into your Pilates V. Lean against the back wall and bend your knees. Float to the balls of your feet and lift and lower and bend. Lift heels, zip it up and lower. Bend, lift, zip, and hold. Hold, let the hot air balloon lengthen you skyward and lower the heels. And now lift to the balls of the feet. Lower the heels and lift. Lower and lift. Bend the knees. Heels lower. Zip it up. Lift. Bend. Lower and zip. Lengthen the spine. Feel broad across your collarbones. Maybe there's a little stretch at the pec minor. Shoulder blades are broad and firm on the back. Lift the base of the skull. Root the tail. Three-dimensional breath. And let's inhale and draw in energy for a fantastic weekend for all of you. Thank you. Lovely. I would love a coffee. Okay.